As far as women leaders are concerned, we've been very lucky, very well aware of the skepticism and cynicism which goes with the evaluation of what our women leaders have done and who they are. I mean, these are wives or daughters of prominent men. Each one of them left a footprint.
Meet Hina Jilani, a lawyer in Pakistan's Supreme Court, a civil society activist, and a leader in the movement for women's rights in Pakistan. Her entire life dedicated to fighting for rights and justice in her country and across the world. In the 1980s, along with her sister, the late Asma Jahangir, Hina set up Pakistan's first all-female law firm and legal aid center.
The late 1970s and the early 80s. And Pakistan had just experienced a deep trauma of execution of a popular civilian leader. Women were being relegated to not even a second class, but almost contemptuous place in Pakistan. The silver lining was it became a learning period for us. How to fight for rights, how to make sure that you are able to stand up and speak truth to power. We were young lawyers at that time, and we felt that we had to get up and do something. So we started this all-women law firm where we started legal aid for women.
Among the many landmark human rights cases she has fought since then, what stands out is her loyalty to the vulnerable, the marginalized. This is where public health comes in.
We felt that there are so serious implications for human rights that flow from the absence of adequate health care. When I was working in South Asia on bonded labor, we discovered that much of the bonded debt was accumulated because of people becoming ill and sick and their families being sick, women delivering children, health support. So, you can see how lack of adequate health care by the state really also brings with it this potential risk of slavery and indebtedness and bondage. Right to life is connected so much to the broader category of rights, the right to life, for instance.
Through her work, Hina has reinforced research that shows more women with decision-making power in public health, the more widespread and long-lasting the impact on society.
One woman can start the process. One woman can also give truth to all that we've been saying for many years, which is that women need a seat at the table. We need women leaders to bring forth more visibility to rights of the vulnerable populations, and not just women, but all vulnerable people.
To empower women to reach for a seat at the table, to cheer and support them, needs a network at personal, institutional, and societal levels.
I think as a human rights defender, I've come to realize that my sense of security really comes from the people in the circle that I move. Networks also kind of broadens your outreach, and a lot of input and feedback comes through these networks that make your strategies more sound, more feasible, more implementable. Secondly, of course, my own family. My family has been attacked because of my activities and the activities of my sister Asma, especially religious fundamentalist groups who attacked my family.
In the last 3 decades, Hina Jilani has earned seats at many high tables, including the Human Rights Commission of Pakistan, the United Nations Human Rights Council, and the World Refugee Council. Her advice, especially to young women in the legal, civil society, and public health space, just strive on.
Number one, you must feel the outrage when you see injustice. Number two, you must feel it a responsibility to do something about that injustice. You don't have the luxury of feeling frustrated or cynical. Our job is to strive for something. And we go on striving. It took us 25 years in Pakistan really for the women's movement to get rid of what we used to call the Hudud laws or the zina laws. And one of my young relatives once said to me, "We've seen you on the street standing with this placard in your hand down with the zina law for 25 years, and all you've gained is weight." And I told him, that's not all what I've gained. I've gained weight, but I've also gained a lot.